Hey guys, sorry I couldn't be there today. Today we're going to be going through the lesson here on this PlayPosit video showing your Desmos lesson. It's really important that you follow along here. It's just as if I am there teaching. I know that some of you will be able to do this without me. A lot of you will need me to go through the lesson slowly. And some of you are going to have a little bit of difficulty today because I'm not there to walk you through the lesson. And that's totally understandable. It's really important that you follow through this lesson and listen as best as you can. So today we're going to look at lesson 6.4, solving equations, called hanging it up. The learning target is solve equations of the form x plus p equals q and px equals q. So we've definitely been doing this already, whether or not you know. So when you see an equation like 2 plus x equals, or 2 plus y apparently equals 10, that is exactly what we've been doing. That is x plus p equals q. You're adding two numbers equals a sum. P, x equals q, that's another way of saying two numbers equals a product. These numbers that we're going to look at include numbers, decimals, and fractions. So let's go ahead and take a look at our Desmos for today. You'll notice that I hid some slides here to simplify it for you. Please take a look at slide 1. Write it and solve it. Write an equation that matches the hanger. Go ahead and pause the video. See if you can type in the equation that you see here. So I have a handy dandy tool here. I can now annotate. I see on one side 7 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 x's. 7 equals 4x. Write an equation that matches the hanger. We'll go ahead and type that in here. And think to yourself, how would you solve this? Excellent. What is the solution to this equation? So go ahead and take out your whiteboards. When you have a number, when you multiply two numbers to equal a product, I always want to get this x by itself. You're going to hear that term a ton over the next 2 years. Get x by itself, get y by itself, get this number by itself. We're going to divide both sides by 4. We did this yesterday. So on your whiteboard, go ahead and do this. 4x divided by 4, 7 divided by 4. If you remember, Ari did this. He raised his hand and told us what this was, 7 divided by 4. And you're going to find that leaving it as a fraction is totally acceptable. So 4x divided by 4 is just x. And then we have 7 divided by 4 is just 7/4. So 7/4 equals x. Sorry about that little messiness here. I don't know what happened to my pen halfway through. 7/4 equals x. So our solution is, I know what happened. I changed my pointer here. 7/4. Very good. Let's go ahead and move to the second slide here. Here are two different representations for 7 equals 4x. Discuss how you can figure out the solution using each representation. I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to have you write in your PlayPosit discussion, how would you solve one of these? Choose one. Tell me whether you're going to tell us, not just me, but other people in the discussion, how would you solve in your head or on paper the hanger or the tape diagram? Which one do you prefer? Again, when I look at this, I'm going to divide 7 by 4 because there's 4 x's. I'm going to divide 7 by 4 here because there's 4 groups of x. All right, now we have a matching activity. I'm going to pause your video here. I want you to pause your video here. I want you to see if you can match these on PlayPosit. Answer a couple questions on PlayPosit before I go over this because I want you to do some of the work on your own. Okay, we're going to go over this now. So let's take a look at some of these. I'm going to line these up, put our equations up here. I'm going to set this off to the side because I think that's the toughest one to look at. So we have 1,000 minus a number equals 400. Which one of these taken away from 1,000 equals 400? It's not 1/10, 3/5, 8.5, 600. 1,000 minus a equals 400. 12 and 6/10 equals b plus 4.5, 4 and 1/10. Which one of these added to 4 1/10 equals 12.6? It's going to be 8 and 5/10. Next, we have 10c equals 1. 10 times a number equals 1. So when I look at this, I know that number is going to be really small, because 10 times a number is only going to equal 1 whole. So it can't be 60. 10 times 60 is going to be 600. I don't think it's going to be 3/5, because that's 30/5. So I look at 10 times 1/10, that's 10 tenths, equals 1. And there's also a second one here, 1/10. 10 times 1/10 equals 1. So I have 3 answers left here. We're going to have 2 left over. This is where it gets a little tricky. So I'm going to go ahead and just show you what I'm thinking here. 2/3 times a number equals 10/9. So if I look at 5/3 first, so 10/3 times 5/3 equals, what does that equal? Okay, if you did that correctly, you should have 10/9. Okay, looks like I got it on my first try there. Very good. Awesome. So that leaves us with, there's our answer, and we have 2 left over. Let's go ahead and look at slide 4. All right, so if you have stayed with me for this part of the video, you now have the opportunity to meet Patty. Say hi, Patty. This is Patty. She is very hyper at this time of the night, so all she wants to do is sit in my lap and play. So I say, hi, Patty. She's a good girl. Did I tell you it was her birthday last week? Anyway, she turned 2 years old on Valentine's Day. Happy birthday, Patty. All right, let's continue. Now that you've met Patty, let's take a look at slide 4. Here's a new equation. X plus 2 and 100 equals 3 and 5/10. Again, go ahead and take out your whiteboard. We're not going to necessarily describe how we solve this, but I'm going to show you how you would solve this. Do the same thing when it comes to X plus 2 and 100 equals 3 and 5/10. And some of you already know how to do this, but if you're not quite sure what to do, because there's decimals involved here, again, I want to get this X by itself. And what I'm going to do is, since we're adding 2 and 100ths, I'm going to take 2 and 100th away from both sides. Think of this like a hanger. If I take away 2 and 100th away from both sides, you can do this on a calculator. That's fine. Or if you want to do it on your whiteboard, that's fine too. When you plug that in, let me see if I can do this in my head here. 1 and 49/100ths. X equals 1 and 49/100ths. So what I did is I see that X is, and 2 and 100th are being added, equals 3 and 5/10. If I'm adding, I'm going to do the opposite to take away 2 and 100th from both sides. Get rid of this. I'm left with X, and I subtract from the other side. It's the same thing as the hangers. If it helps you to think of hangers, if it helps you to think of tape diagrams, or you can do it this way. This is probably the most traditional way of doing these one-step equations. We're going to do a lot more of this going forward. Now we're going to do some repeated practices. I'll do a couple with you, then you can get started. So again, I have 36 equals 4x. Take out your whiteboard, write this out. Again, I see multiplication is dividing, connecting these. Divide both sides by 4. What does x equal? 4 is canceled. 36 divided by 4 is 9 equals x. Go ahead and plug that in. Very good. Good job, Mr. Stoker. Let's try one more. Good. Again, I'm going to please take out your whiteboard. We'll do 13 equals x plus 5. I see that they're connected by addition here. I want to not really get rid of, but I want to balance the hanger here. So I take 5 from both sides of the hanger to figure out what this x is. These cancel. X, 13 take away 5 is 8. Again, you may already be doing this. This is another way to solve these equations. This is probably how you're going to be solving the equations going forward when you get to pre-algebra and algebra. Some of you will get to algebra 2, trig, and calculus in the next several years. But for now, some of you might just look at this and say, what number plus 5 equals 13? When you think of that, you know that 8 plus 5 equals 13. And that is good enough for right now. A lot of you, I know, have picked up on this today as well. Keep up the great work. I would like you to see if you can get maybe, let's see how many there are. Usually it tells me how many there are. It doesn't tell me. There are at least 10 repeated challenges, and it will not hurt to get lots of practice with these. So give 5 a try. See if you can get to 10. See if you can get to 10. And all right, so for your assignment today, I want to see if you can get to 10. Get to 10 of these repeated challenges. If you want to give Miss Marvel, I would like you to give this one a try. See if you can figure out what the missing variables are here. Everybody is welcome. Miss Marvel, I would definitely like to see you give a try here. Slide 7, I'm going to hide this one. And here's slide 8 for your cool down. Please do me a favor and show all your work on here, excuse me, so that I can see your mathematical thinking. Thank you for sticking with me today. I will miss you today, and I look forward to seeing you again on Monday. Have an amazing weekend, guys. Have a good rest of your afternoon. Remember, show your 3 R's, be respectful, responsible, and ready to learn. Yeah, I don't know what I was trying to say there. Take care, guys. Bye.